guys are loving the Daniel Tiger videos, but we got the lonely life of Margaret Tiger. Man, this is crazy. I'm so happy to be reviewing this video today, but no further ado, let's get it. Let's go. Ooh.
When you were a toddler, did your older siblings ever push you aside or hog all the attention? In Daniel Tiger's neighborhood, Daniel's baby sister Margaret often finds herself in that exact situation. If you look closely, Margaret is repeatedly sidelined, ignored, and even mistreated. She's essentially the victim of the Tiger family. It sounds outrageous to call an animated tiger toddler a victim, but bear with me. What if Margaret Tiger is actually the quiet sufferer of the show? Part 1. Margaret, the forgotten tiger cub. From the moment Margaret is born, the tiger household continues to revolve around big brother Daniel. One Reddit user noticed this imbalance immediately, writing, "My daughter loves watching this and so does her older brother, but I've noticed it's not really fair to Margaret. The parents seem solely focused on Daniel. Feels kinda sad."
It is
Indeed,
true though.
Mom and Dad Tiger pour most of their time and energy into Daniel's experiences, teaching him lessons, singing songs for his feelings, while baby Margaret often sits quietly in the background. It's as if the show and the family forget that she even exists. Another user bluntly explained why. Because it's not frickin' Margaret Tiger's neighborhood now, is it? In other words, Margaret isn't the main character, so she becomes an afterthought. Perhaps the most glaring example of Margaret's neglect is the episode Margaret's First Thank You Day. In this episode, Margaret is visibly ill. Well, I say visibly ill, it's visible to you and I
remember the episode when she was ill and Daniel was like, "Man, I don't care, I gotta finish doing my..." that's gotta go, bro.
Not necessarily to the parents. Margaret coughs repeatedly, and I mean repeatedly. Let's count the coughs.
We'll see you at the Enchanted Garden.
Counting the coughs.
One cough.
One cough.
Are you excited for your first thank you day, Margaret?
See, I'm coughing too.
Two coughs.
Two coughs.
Welcome to Thank You Day!
Three coughs.
That's three coughs.
Four coughs. Eventually, she meets up with Mum Tiger at the event after coughing all over the frickin' place.
I can't wait for our turn, Margaret.
Five coughs.
Five coughs.
Skippy, Skippy! Hoo-hoo! Mama?
But seriously, a sick toddler left coughing in a crowd, basically ignored by her dad and others for most of the episode.
That's so sad.
As one shocked viewer put it, I noticed Margaret coughing from the beginning and thought to myself, these are some S-ass parents. Remember, this is a preschool show. The parents are meant to be loving and attentive.
Yes, they do.
The narrative focuses so much on Daniel Tiger that the parents don't even notice that their own daughter is potentially unwell. This shows how Margaret's needs come second every time. One Reddit commenter empathized with Margaret's situation, writing, she's so well behaved. She doesn't need our support. Focus on the more difficult, complex, outspoken child is a sad reality. My friend was this child. Well behaved, no major psych or medical concerns, and quiet. Parents would joke they forgot they had her. Meanwhile, her older sister was, well, let's just say the opposite. Now my friend, she was 19, yesterday, and she's almost 30, has a therapist who says she has disorganized attachment trauma, abandonment issues, and if she's left on her own for too long, over a day, without human interaction, texts, calls, email, someone reaching out to her, she does something to make people pay attention to her, usually dangerous. So I hope Margaret doesn't end up like that. Not that they would show it, because again, it's Daniel's world. Margaret is a convenient extra. Of course, on the show,
she's an
we'll
extra
never
in the
see
show.
a teen Margaret acting out from childhood neglect. But the point still stands. Margaret Tiger is simply a prop in Daniel's main story. She's the convenient, quiet child who doesn't need anything until she really does. As another parent on Reddit put it, I actually have two kids just like this, and it would be so easy to say my second doesn't need anything, but she does. She's just quiet about it. My older one, when he's nervous,
that's true. Just because you're quiet don't mean you don't need anything.
She will withdraw and get quiet. But if you're not paying attention enough to your kid to be attuned to that, literally your job as a parent, the kid is just not going to get their needs met.
That is facts, though.
Perfectly describes Margaret's role. The well-behaved toddler who gets overlooked because all of the eyes are on the louder, more demanding Daniel. Part 2. Big Brother Blues, Daniel's treatment of Margaret. It's not just the parents or the show's writers sidelining Margaret. Daniel himself often treats Margaret more like a nuisance than family. One early example is when Grandpa gives Daniel a special sticker book.
Look at his
Margaret
innocent
toddles
eyes,
over,
y'all.
naturally curious and wanting to join in the fun.
Hi, Margaret. Beep beep. Yep, our car says beep beep. Beep beep. Beep beep.
Daniel's reaction, he refuses to let her touch his stickers, making
why would you
Margaret
reach it?
burst into tears.
My thing is, why would you even put your hands out for her to even like see to even touch it if you didn't want that in the first place? And then he just push it back like, no, you're not touching this.
No, Margaret. These are my stickers. Dan stickers.
Dan
Margaret
stickers.
wants my stickers.
What we gonna do? Why you looking at
Margaret,
us?
No, these are my stickers.
Quick side note, the thumbnail that you clicked, made in PixArt Pro. Use my link right now and you can start for free and also get up to 61% off
I gotta
Plus
try this
or
out, yo.
53% off Pro. PixArt has so many awesome tools you can use to make your thumbnails look spectacular. Links in the description. Click it before you forget. It also supports the channel. Thank you so much. Back to the video.
They're not for you. No.
Hey.
Poor Margaret doesn't understand why her brother won't share. She only knows it hurt her feelings. Dad Tiger has to step in and teach Daniel to share, after which Margaret, with tear-stained cheeks, finally gets to play. But the damage was done. Daniel's initial selfishness caused his baby sister genuine sadness. Daniel's impatience with Margaret isn't just limited to toys. During mealtime in one episode, Daniel desperately wants to tell his mum a story, but she's busy feeding Margaret because, you know, babies can't feed themselves.
Yeah, they can't feed
Daniel
themselves,
grows
obviously,
increasingly upset until he finally shouts in frustration.
I'm trying to tell you a story, but you keep taking care of baby Margaret.
What?
Don't you want to hear my story?
To Margaret, who's barely verbal,
Bro,
what
she
does
can't even feed herself. That's the thing. Like, I don't care about the story, bro. She gotta eat first, man. She can't feed herself like he said.
this sound like?
Whoops. 1 second, Daniel. Baby Margaret dropped her spoon.
Mom, listen. I'm telling a story.
Oh, yeah.
Her
I never
brother
see Dad
essentially
talking like
complaining
this.
that mum is paying attention to her, Margaret, instead of him.
Mom is helping baby Margaret, but I want her to listen to my story.
Mum Tiger offers a gentle reminder to Daniel.
I
Occupied,
do want to
bro.
hear your story, but Margaret needed my help to eat. She can't feed herself like her big brother
Yo.
can.
But to
She
Margaret,
can't.
all she knows is her brother is annoyed and shouting because she requested basic care. It's another instance where Daniel blames Margaret for just existing and just needing her parents' attention. At other times, Daniel crosses into behavior that we simply have to call bullying. In the episode It's Not Okay to Hurt Someone, Daniel is playing
this the
pretend,
craziest
and
episode.
baby Margaret accidentally knocks down the block tower he built.
Margaret, it's a special tower. Margaret, don't! I just built that!
This is an innocent baby move.
Yeah,
Toddlers
it
love
is.
knocking blocks, but Daniel goes red with anger.
got his
and
fist
actually
ready,
raises
y'all.
his hand, ready to hit Margaret.
Margaret, no! You're knocking down my fence!
Yeah, he's wild for that.
I'm so
He really
mad.
balling his fist over her, bro.
The
That's
scene
wild.
is startling. Daniel Tiger wants to physically hurt his baby sister. Mum Tiger jumps in and literally stops Daniel's arm before he strikes Margaret, giving an important lesson in the process.
Daniel, stop. Daniel, I know that you're angry, but you cannot hurt your sister.
Lesson aside, consider just how terrifying that moment must be for baby Margaret. In an instant, her beloved older brother turned into a threat. She's too young to understand Daniel's words about anger. She only sees his face and voice filled with rage, directed at her. Even outside moments of anger, Daniel sometimes inadvertently frightens Margaret by making her the scapegoat for anything that goes wrong. Recall the time that Margaret spilled orange juice on Daniel's favourite stuffed toy, Tiggy. Daniel was pretending to be daddy to Tiggy, and Margaret, wanting to play along, tried to offer Tiggy a sip of her juice.
Do you need some orange juice now, Tiggy baby? Here you go, Tiggy. Just for pretend.
The result was a sticky mess.
What?
Juice all over the toy.
Careful, Margaret. Oh no, Margaret. Tiggy has juice all over him. He's so sticky and wet. Oh no, oh no.
Oh, what happened over here?
Daniel immediately gets very upset. In his mind, Margaret has ruined Tiggy. Think of poor Margaret. She was just trying to imitate her brother, a sign of affection.
Yo.
And then he's suddenly yelling, and abruptly the game
The biggest
ends.
crash out yelling,
One
y'all.
Reddit fan even jokingly held a grudge against Margaret, saying, "Baby Margaret is cute, but I won't forget how she intentionally poured orange juice on a Tiggy. My daughter has a Tiggy stuffy, and she is horrified when she watches that episode. Oh no! Tiggy messy!" And then she wants to take her Tiggy in the bath, and it's a whole thing. I blame Margaret. Another user went even further, saying, I hate baby Margaret. And I haven't even seen that episode.
Wow.
She's a whiny brat who wasted Daniel's stickers and ruined his stuff.
Why would you go against this little girl? It's a kid. Even the fans are crash outs too, man.
Harsh reactions from viewers mirror Daniel's own perspective, blaming the baby for
how you gonna blame a
typical
baby?
behavior. In truth, Margaret isn't being
Baby
bad
don't
in
know
these
any
scenarios
better.
at all. She's just a toddler exploring her world and wanting to play with her big brother. But from Daniel's viewpoint, and apparently some annoyed audience members, Margaret is cast as the troublemaker. All of these moments add up to a difficult reality for baby Margaret. The person that she likely adores the most, her older brother, is the main source of her distress. Whether he's refusing to share, shouting about her, or nearly hitting her in anger, Daniel puts Margaret in upsetting situations on the regular.
so mean,
and
y'all.
unlike Daniel, who always has an adult or a song to help him work through feelings, Margaret mostly just cries or looks confused. There's no strategy song sung to Margaret about her feelings. In the show's logic, Daniel's feelings, jealousy, frustration, etc., are the focus, not Margaret's. So, when Daniel bullies Margaret, the lesson focuses on Daniel learning not to bully. Margaret's tears, on the other hand, are quickly forgotten after he apologises or shares. It's easy to imagine a future Margaret needing to unpack all this with a therapist. Her childhood filled with incidents where she was made to feel like an inconvenience or the bad kid, despite doing nothing wrong. Part 3. The unconditional love of a toddler. The tragedy of Margaret Tiger is that she has no idea
we got the
that
cute
she's
cat
a
in the
victim.
frame.
Lucky just wanted to say hello. She's too young to understand any family dynamics or favoritism. All she knows is that she loves her family. In fact,
as you
Margaret
should.
absolutely adores Daniel, despite how he sometimes treats her. It's almost like toddler Stockholm syndrome. No matter what Daniel does, Margaret greets him with a smile and open arms. We saw this forgiving innocence in the Daniel shares with Margaret episode. 1 minute Margaret was sobbing because Daniel wouldn't share stickers. A little later, once Daniel relents, Margaret is giggling and clapping, thrilled to play with her brother.
She's so forgiving, y'all.
The hurt is forgotten instantly. Similarly, in the orange juice on Tiggy debacle, once Tiggy has been cleaned up, then all is forgotten, and Margaret Tiger is even seen cuddling up to her big brother.
Aw, what happened? You both look sticky and wet.
Margaret clearly doesn't realise she was just blamed for an accident. In her eyes, Daniel can do no wrong. He's her hero, big brother. It's both heartwarming and heartbreaking. Heartwarming because it is pretty cute how much Margaret loves her big brother. Heartbreaking because Margaret's unconditional love makes her the perfect victim. She's both so sweet and so non-verbal that she never even protests how she's treated. This dynamic sets
She don't
Margaret
really know
up to
how she's
suffer
being
in
treated, like,
silence,
that's why, for
which she
real.
continues to do
She
with a
don't know.
smile on her face. Part 4. Living in Daniel's neighborhoods. So, why does Margaret end up as the overlooked, even victimized character? The uncomfortable answer is baked right into the show's title. As one commenter put it plainly, the show is literally called Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. It's his world. In Daniel's world, a toddler sister is, at best, a sidekick, at worst, an obstacle to his fun. The show's writers never intended to make mum and dad look neglectful. Rather, we see what Daniel sees. As this Redditor explains, they probably are paying attention to Margaret, but he doesn't notice because that's not about him, and like all children, he's the main character of his story. In other words, Daniel is a little egocentric, like, let's be honest, many
He's a main
preschoolers,
character
and
syndrome,
the
bro.
show mirrors this by largely ignoring Margaret's perspective. This storytelling choice has a side effect. Margaret effectively has no voice in the narrative. When Margaret cries or is upset, is usually just a prompt for Daniel to learn a lesson, not a problem to explore on its own. It's telling that the Daniel Tiger Conspiracy subreddit has multiple threads about Margaret's mistreatment. I'm sure Margaret loved having to skip breakfast so Daniel could finally play in the snow. She probably also loved having to sleep on the living room floor, just because Daniel's room had flooded. And she definitely loved Grand-Père opening the drapes and letting the moonlight in at night, while having to share a room with Daniel during their trip. Another frustrated parent wrote, "My husband and I ask, Where's baby Margaret? Constantly. Like, everyone will be in the scene but her. We compare it to baby Maggie. Maggie? Margaret? On The Simpsons. Where the hell's Maggie at? One user smartly replied, to be fair, The Simpsons are meant to be terrible parents. The Tigers are supposed to be good at it.
Yeah, they're supposed to be perfect
underlines
parents.
the point. In a supposedly loving family, Margaret's perpetual sidelining is jarring once you notice it. Of course, the Fred Rogers company, who produces the show, they didn't set out to create this storyline of neglect. Rather, it's just the unintended consequence of making everything about Daniel. You and I, the audience, we can't help but worry about Margaret because she's a catalyst, not a character. As this Reddit user says, Margaret is extraordinarily well behaved all the damn time. There's no episode of Margaret crying for hours, and nobody has a clue why she's upset. When she gets fuzzy, they give her a toy, and then she calms down in seconds. She's always smiling, never struggles when they transfer her to a high chair or the stroller. They go on a trip, and it doesn't mess up her sleeping schedule. She never takes off the little flower in her head. Side note, when Daniel has an allergic reaction, Dad says he's taking him to the doctor, and Mum says, I'll stay here with Margaret, which I find really annoying. I mean, what else could they possibly do? Leave Margaret alone? Honestly, I wouldn't put it past those...
I wouldn't. They gonna let the baby sit there while they at the hospital with Daniel. Who's gonna babysit the kid, bro? I don't know.
parents. Seriously though, just because Margaret isn't throwing tantrums, it doesn't mean she isn't missing out or feeling hurt. If there's any solace, it's that occasionally the adults do acknowledge Margaret in small ways, like Mum Tiger singing a quiet goodnight song to her, or Dad Tiger carrying her while she's sleepy. Yet, these tender moments are usually in service of teaching Daniel to be gentle or patient. It all circles back to DT's learning experience. So, where does that leave Margaret? She's a child who's cherished in universe, but only when it's convenient for the narrative. The show's structure inadvertently casts her in the role of victim, time and time again, because everyone's focus is always elsewhere. Baby Margaret, the perfect victim. So, what's the takeaway here, other than the fact that Lucky's back? Well, Margaret Tiger isn't just Daniel's little sister. She's the ultimate background character in her own life. She's the baby who coughs through thank you day without anyone batting an eye. The toddler who almost gets attacked over an innocent mistake. The girl who's blamed for juice stains she didn't mean to cause. And through it all, she still beams at Daniel like he hung the moon. It's not abuse. It's not malicious. But it is neglect.
It
in
is
the
neglect,
quietest, most insidious form. The kind that hides behind, she's fine or she's easy until one day she isn't. And because this is Daniel's neighborhood, not hers, we'll never get the episode where Margaret finally says, hey, what about me? Not just because she can't speak, but because it wouldn't fit the narrative. Maybe one day the writers will give her a story where it's hers and hers alone. But
dang, that would be good if the writers give her like the main character. It want to be Daniel Tiger, you know? Like, I want to see another season like that. That'd be different.
Don't hold your breath. It's Daniel frickin' Tiger's neighborhood after all. If they ever do give Margaret her own show,
she need her own show, y'all. Who agree?
Margaret's Revenge.
That's insane. Revenge is crazy work, bro. Like, she do need her own show. It should be Margaret's Neighborhood. I don't know.
Merch sold separately, therapy included. Special shout out to my channel members for making videos like this possible. If you want to support the channel, get your name in the credits, get access to custom emojis and cool little badges by your name, then please consider hitting that join button below. Thank you again, Snipe Army. Your support means the world to me and the world to that little boy back there. Lucky. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you Pixar for supporting the video. Again, link in description, and we'll see you soon. Snap out.
I love this video. That's why I know it.
That little boy.
That was fire. Love you guys. Go show support to his channel. I'm going to leave it in the description pin. The full link to the original video will be in the description. But I love that video. What are y'all thoughts? Do you think that she's neglected? And explain why. Whoever got the best reason, I will pin you in the comment section, but you gotta give me the best reason why you feel like she's neglected, or give me a reason why, or your opinion. Just give me an opinion on this episode, or the whole. It's not even an episode. It's just a summary of everything of our life, the lonely life. But that was crazy, very sad. Daniel Tiger should treat his sister better because she's only a toddler, bro. Like, what else? She barely can talk, bro. So what are you doing? But I love you guys. See y'all next video. Peace. And we on the road to 30,000 subscribers. So subscribe, y'all. See you later. Peace.